Howdy folks, Stock here with Last Best Tool, and Milwaukee's got a precision bit set in a little case here that I would say is a direct competitor with this Klein. The Klein here, it's a 39-piece kit, 3.5 millimeter bits. That's the big thing. The Milwaukee's are 3.5 millimeter as well, so maybe 3.5 millimeters the new black. But this one is the 32717, made in Taiwan. The Milwaukee, this is the 4822-2935, made in China. Both of them have, let me take these guys off here. Both of them have a plastic case that closes, locks in the closed position, easy access to all the bits. The Klein's case, a little bit thicker but smaller. And there are a couple advantages and disadvantages. I'll get to those. The Milwaukee, a little bit larger, flatter case. It's got some indents. I'm not sure if that's going to fit with something else in the future because there is a pass-through here. But anyway, both these being 3.5 millimeter bits means they are considerably smaller than the standard 4 millimeter bit that, like in the iFixit or in other sets, which means I need a 3.5 millimeter to quarter hex adapter. This one is a quarter hex to 4 millimeter. Obviously, these things just spin in there, but I like to have that the ability to use my bits with about anything. So, a couple of differences besides the box. Well, actually, one other thing with the box. Both of these can be used, just as a little parts tray. I think I'm going to mount a magnet in this Milwaukee. I think the Milwaukee's a little easier to dig around in than the Klein, but neither one of them you would want to leave the parts in there because they'd certainly fall out should you tip them over. The Milwaukee bits are not in there quite as tight. I don't really want to knock them all out, but I feel like a little bit of a blow would allow those to fall out, whereas the Kleins have a little bit more resistance. Still, if you dropped them, they're going to go all over the place. The handles are the big thing. So the Klein and the Milwaukee both have reversible handles. They are not interchangeable with. And as you can see, the Klein's a little longer. The Milwaukee is heavier. The magnetic strength feels very similar on both. So if I put the Klein in the short position and the Milwaukee in the short position, you can see the Milwaukee is significantly shorter. I'll rotate the Milwaukee to the longer position. Now it's just slightly longer than the short Klein position, and then this is the long Klein position. So there's a bit of a trade-off there. I find the Klein handle a little bit more comfortable. It's a little bit smaller. Great grip all the way around. The Milwaukee, as you can see, both have spinning caps as well. This one's kind of rubbery. This is hard plastic. I guess I kind of like the rubbery one. But sometimes I can get up into this area up here. Not only is it a steeper angle, which is noticeable compared to something a little bit flatter like this, which I like, but it's also slicker. So I'm going to have to give the nod to the Klein handle. That extra length, though, does something interesting, allows something in the design of this. If I take a Klein bit, put one in here and one in here, I can easily put the bit inside the handle on that end, but I can do it on that end as well. That tells me there was some thought put into this. The Milwaukee, on the other hand, if it will on the short side, no problem, but the long side, it does not hold the bit. I can't close it. So that may have to do with a little bit of the handle size, but if you actually look, it's just that tiny bit, pun intended, I guess, but I can do it on this end here. As far as the handles in the case, Klein's only fits in the case in the short position. Of course, I could have a bit in the handle, but I have to have it in the short position, and it goes all the way to the edge here. Milwaukee, on the other hand, this is the long position. It doesn't fit, but if I flip that around, just can't have a bit on it. Right there, even with a bit, no problem. Or I can put it in the case with a or with no bit in the long position. So I can always just drop it right back, but I have to pop the bit off. The Klein bits are a little bit longer than the Milwaukee bits. The Klein bits have a stamped size in them, whereas the Milwaukees appear to be painted. You can kind of see a little bit of a, I don't even think it's laser, I think it's paint. Or maybe there's some new technique that's kind of both. They are interchangeable. They are all pretty much exactly 3.5 millimeter, something like that. Across the board, both very, very similar. But the bit sets, I like them both. I think they're great. They are security bits. They do have the holes for a lot of the torques, etc. As far as the closures, this one's got a manual snap. That one obviously closes on its own. Harder plastic, softer plastic. And then the Milwaukee costs a little bit more. As far as I can tell, all the bits are the same, and they're the same number. So, anyway, there they are. The two precision bit sets going head-to-head, Klein Tools and Milwaukee, with the new standard of 3.5 millimeters. So, I guess that's where we're headed. And with that, Doc out.